Close your eyes and picture the 1970s. The music was loud, the colors were bold, and the fashion, well, it was unlike anything before or after. This was the decade when style was about making a statement, bigger, brighter, and groovier than ever. Some of these trends became symbols of freedom and self-expression, while others make us laugh when we look back. Today, we're looking at 10 forgotten fashion trends that defined the 70s. 1. Bell bottoms. Nothing says 70s like a pair of bell bottoms. These pants flared wide at the ankles, making every step look like a dance move. Inspired by both naval uniforms and the hippie movement of the late 60s, they quickly became a must-have for young people. Everyone from rock stars to high school kids wore them. By the early 80s, though, the trend faded, replaced by tighter jeans and a cleaner look. Still, nothing captures 70s men's fashion quite like the bell bottom. 2. Platform shoes. If you wanted to stand tall at the disco, platform shoes were the answer. These shoes often had wooden or cork soles, lifting men and women several inches higher. They came in wild colors and even glittery designs, making them perfect under the dance floor lights. While they were fun, they weren't exactly practical, and twisted ankles were common. By the 80s, most people left them behind, though they remained a symbol of disco culture. 3. Leisure suits. The leisure suit was the casual man's answer to stiff business wear. Made from polyester and often paired with wide collars, these suits were worn at parties, clubs, and even offices. They came in bright colors, sometimes with bold patterns, and were meant to show that you knew how to relax. The look was flashy but short-lived, as fashion critics began to call it cheap and tacky. Still, nothing captures 70s men's fashion quite like the leisure suit. 4. Tie-dye shirts. Though born in the 60s, tie-dye truly exploded in the 70s. Each shirt was unique with bright swirls of color that represented freedom and individuality. It became a favorite at concerts, schools, and summer camps. Parents sometimes tried to join in, making their own tie-dye at home. The style lost popularity by the 80s, but even today, it makes a comeback whenever people want a little retro fun. 5. Wrap dresses. Thanks to designer Diane von Furstenberg, the wrap dress became a fashion icon in the mid-70s. It was simple yet elegant, a dress that tied at the waist, flattering nearly every body type. Women loved it because it was stylish but also practical, perfect for work or going out. The wrap dress gave a sense of confidence during a time when women's fashion was changing quickly. While it never fully disappeared, it's remembered as one of the great 70s staples. 6. Peasant blouses. Soft, flowing, and often embroidered, peasant blouses were a nod to bohemian and folk styles. They paired perfectly with jeans or skirts and gave off a relaxed, earthy vibe. Popular with young women, they reflected the 70s interest in natural living and global influences. Their loose shape made them comfortable, but by the 80s, fashion moved towards sharper, more fitted looks. Today, they live on in vintage shops and music festival outfits. 7. Clogs. Made of wood or heavy leather, clogs were the go-to shoe for both men and women in the 70s. They were chunky, noisy, and not exactly easy to walk in, but that was part of their charm. With their European roots, clogs added a worldly flair to American wardrobes. They fit perfectly with the laid-back, natural style of the time. By the late 70s, however, most people traded them in for sneakers or sleeker shoes. 8. Corduroy everything. Corduroy wasn't just pants in the 70s. It showed up in jackets, skirts, and even overalls. Its ridged texture and earthy colors fit perfectly with the decade's natural tones. Many kids wore corduroy to school, while adults paired it with turtlenecks for a cozy look. The fabric was warm, but not always breathable, which made it less popular in the years that followed. Today, seeing corduroy instantly brings back memories of school days and chilly autumn afternoons. 9. Maxi dresses and skirts. While the 60s gave us miniskirts, the 70s swung the other way with flowing maxi skirts and dresses. They often reached the floor, covered in floral or psychedelic prints. The maxi style was romantic, bohemian, and perfect for summer evenings. For many women, it felt more comfortable and free than shorter styles. Although fashion kept moving, the maxi remains one of the most memorable looks of the decade. 10. Wide collars. From men's dress shirts to disco outfits, wide collars were everywhere in the 70s. They spread far across the shoulders and often peeked out dramatically over suit jackets. The bigger the collar, the bolder the statement. They matched the playful, flashy attitude of the disco scene. By the 80s, though, fashion returned to smaller, neater collars, leaving wide ones as a true 70s signature. The 1970s were bold, colorful, and unforgettable, and so was the fashion. These trends remind us of a time when style was about taking chances, standing out, and dancing under the mirror ball. Which one of these looks do you remember most? Or maybe you still have one tucked away in your closet. If you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more stories of America's past.